Guardian, we've picked up a high-gain transmission. Origin point is somewhere along the coast, near the Cosmodrome.
What is going on, Guardians across the solar system? It is time for Cosmodrome Radio, the podcast all about D2 and everything great about it. We are back for a brand new episode in this joint. As Tower Mom says in chat, fuck it, we ball. We are going to be hanging out with you folks, talking about everything that we've been experiencing the past, week and a half in this game, because Bungie was just like, hey, yo, you want good stuff? We gonna give you good stuff, and we gonna talk about it. And we got a great show for you tonight, folks, because everything was been hitting hard and going ham in here. So let's talk about it. Don't forget that you can follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Audible. Like when you're reading that brand new book on Audible, don't forget that you can flip over and listen to Cosmodrome Radio too. Don't forget about that. I don't know why they have it in two places. Like I don't know why they just have it on Amazon Music, but like we don't question Jeffrey. It's fine. But you can follow us on
because it's complicated.
I'm gonna say complicated. It's fine, no big deal. But you can follow us on Twitter at Cosmodrome Radio. Definitely check out the merch store shop.cosmodromeradio.com. We are premiering a brand new design that we're gonna talk about in a bit because of the new reprising raid. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna premiere on Friday when the raid drops. Like literally as we're going into the raid, we're gonna drop the shirt while me and Cajun and the rest of the squad are going into the raid. Like we're gonna drop the shirt. It's gonna be insane. So like definitely get ready for that. All right, cool. My name is Panda the Paladin. You are here at twitch.tv/Panda the Paladin while we're hanging out doing this show. To my left, we have the man who has finally left the horribleness of Red Lobster and has graced over to hang out with us this evening. Alchemy King, how you doing over there as your image self?
I'm doing pretty good. I am currently doing a 3v1 in trials right now, and it fucking...
Oh, dear lord.
Yeah, my teammate went AFK for like half the match.
I did my trials torture yesterday to get my drip. My drip is on point. Like I have no reason to go back in there ever again. The
dedication was hard, okay, for the freaking drip.
The dedication was hard. The dedication was very hard. It was very hard when it came to getting that shit done because your boy had to look good. That's all we're going to say. Because finally, Panda got the bear helmet. Panda got the whole bear suit. Like, if you go on my Twitter right now and look at how good the bear suit looks with the no backup plans, man, we looking sexy in this mug. We looking real sexy. Cajun and DanJon are going to disappear for like 2 seconds while I drag Chrome over here. So give me like 2 seconds. We're going to do that. And then they're going to do this. And then we're back. All right, cool. Because I needed to like have Chrome open on one screen and OBS on the other screen. That way I can look at the log. All right, back. Cool. We're good. All right. Now, to my right, someone actually who is on camera that I very much enjoy. Man, you think this man about to like blow up the whole world like he's Anger from that one Pixar movie, but in reality he's just dramatic and we love him. Cajun Geek, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm freaking excited for tonight. With everything that came out this week with the showcase, I can't wait to talk about all this stuff. And all I gotta say is this: last night we were participating in the true end game of Destiny 2, that fashion drip, and I gotta say, Panda's got some style, but so I don't know. I think for day one, I'm gonna flex some shit.
Hey, you definitely had some good stuff going on. I'll give you that. You definitely had some good stuff going on. But like, just so everyone understands, I'm gonna like drop this on screen right now, just so everyone understands, because because I pulled it off the Twitter, because not everyone likes to mess around with Elon no more. But can we just talk about how good your boy looks? Oh, right now, like, oh, beautiful. Look at your boy.
You're missing a trick with the no backup plans. You should be using Ursa Furiosas.
See, like Ursa will come. Ursa has a build. It will be there for GMs. Ursa has its time. But like, we needed to look good for day one because we have a Syntho set build because of the new Banner of War. Hashtag Banner of War. We're gonna be talking about that later. But also, we have the no backup plans. That way, I can just like walk in with a shotgun and start busting up Crota's face. So like, we definitely have multiple things going on. It's gonna be great. All right, well, let me go ahead and get that off screen. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Also, yeah, like that drip is clean. Yes, we love it. All right, cool. Then we have our special guest gracing us from the lands of Warlockdom. We have DanJon. How are you?
I wouldn't call myself special. I'm just a normal idiot who plays Destiny, but thank you for having me on.
Well, why don't you explain what you do and how you do it and whatnot?
I mean, half the chat is filled with my chat at the minute, but I'm DanJon. I'm a variety streamer who plays Destiny. You may know me for sneezing loud on some British idiot's YouTube channel. That's about it. I main Warlock. I'm a Voidlock since birth, and this game is my favorite game. I hate anybody who says it isn't.
No, it's dead game, man. It's dead game.
Dead game.
100,000
viewers on Tuesday. Dead game. More viewers than the last CS major. Dead game.
Bro, I had 150 people in my TikTok chat during the live. I was like, this is insanity. Like just people coming to see the live. It was I loved it. I must say, like, folks, we appreciate you for being in chat. I'm thinking, like, if we have enough Zavala's alive and Save 14 was fucking dead. What do you mean? What? Huh?
That video aged so goddamn badly. Oh my god.
Do I want to know? Do I need to do some
You're familiar with My Name Is Spife's YouTube series? That sounds like a you problem, Panda, right?
Yes, very much so.
The 5th episode we did is a video called Angry Destiny Lore, where we found some of the, at the time, stupidest theories in the Destiny community and riffed on them badly. Stuff like Oryx's Wormers on Titan. Zavala is Saint 14, I think, is another one. The Vex were made by Clovis Bray.
Okay. I can get into that.
There are some stupid theories in that video, but so I swear someone in the Bungie narrative department watched that video and said, right, bet, because Vex and Clovis Bray exos are related. Saint 14 isn't dead. What other things have aged horribly? Like half that video has just aged terribly. And I go on like a 1.5-minute rant about how Saint 14 died in the Infinite Forest and there was no way for him to come back. And then when it came back, my Twitter feed, any Twitch chat I went into was just, hey Dan, how's Saint 14? I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
I mean, as somebody who has Saint 14's emblem tattooed to my chest, I kind of have to laugh at that a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
It is aged terribly, and I'm never making another one.
Oh, I love that. But like, what if we do a drunk version of it? Like, that'd be amazing. Like, just drunk riffing on Destiny lore. That'd be the greatest thing ever.
And I gotta say, you gotta give the narrative team props that they took something like possibly got influenced by something like that and brought that and made that into reality. It's as content creators, it makes you think about what you actually say concerning lore.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, right, another part of that video is sorry to cut in on you, Panda. Another part of that video is like I forget, but is the worm on Titan like and like the Leviathan on Titan the same as the thing the Callus drove? And then one of the people in it, the reply was, it's a fucking fish. And then that came out in I think it was Warmind. In Forsaken, we had the strike in the Prison of Elders, where in the Gravlift there was a chance for Drifter to say, the seed of Cabal power now rests orbiting Nessus in a giant fish.
Oh dear.
In the same cadence that the guy said, and I'm like, that's not that has to be a coincidence, right?
It's a lie. All right. Okay. So we definitely got a good group of motherfuckers here for a great show. So I'm very excited to see how this goes. So let's dig into the nonsense that was the showcase. So if you guys weren't here for that, we did stream the showcase live, and then the after party was me and Cajun like spitting and talking about all the nonsense we like just endured with the showcase. So fellas, that man, I didn't know what I expected from the showcase, and then Bungie still went, here's a little sauce on it. And it really blew me away. Like the only low point for me was finding out Crota was coming back, like confirming Crota was coming back. But like in general, no notes. Like I very much was pleased with everything that I heard. Like I'm excited about what's going on. Like just an overall tone, I'm very pleased with what went down there. Like that there were some good surprises. Your boys getting the axe. I'm very excited about this. Like, I'm very content. Now, granted, I don't want everybody else to get axes. I just want my axe. Like, I'm tired of this game where like if I throw an icicle lance, you get an icicle lance. No, I want my axe. And like, it shouldn't just be like we throw the axe. They should have made it the same way they just made this brand new solar exotic, where one version of the super is I get to carry an axe and beat people with it, but the other version of the axe is I throw it and creates the giant like gravity wave. Like that'd have been fine. Like not even making it exotic, making two different like variants of the super and been done with it. I'd have been content. But you know what? It's fine. Everyone gets an axe. No big deal. It's fine. It's totally cool. I'll ask the witness a question. It'll be fine. No big deal.
God
but
damn it!
In terms of the show, and now warlocks, I feel like you're kind of like there's two different camps with warlocks right now, where you're either really excited that you're getting Radiant back, or you're really pissed that self-res isn't back. As
the Sunsinger main in D1,
mm-hmm.
I am so excited. Like in my tweet
it.
saying that I was going to be on the podcast, I quipped that we're just going to be talking about Radiance. It's the only thing that matters, just Radiance. I am very excited. I was streaming with a good friend of mine, Rune Sale, who you can find on Blue Sky, Twitch, and Twitter. They're a great person. Follow them. And they're a healer main. Like they main Lumina and a healing build on Well. The scream they emitted when when Radiance came back, I think shattered at least 6 glasses in the kitchen downstairs. That is all the selling I needed for Radiance to come back, was just that excitement.
Fair enough.
I'm a Void main in D2, but I do like to do some soloring, and Radiance coming back, I just cannot wait. Just scorch all of the things. It's gonna
scorch
be
all the things. I do think it's a little weird that like Bungie finally like finalized the trifecta of finally there is a solar buddy. Like we will gift you the solar buddy, and it's like, did you need a solar buddy?
Warlocks are the druids of Destiny 2. we summon things and then kill them in beautiful ways.
That's fair. I didn't know. I think like turning your grenade into like a little bird was kind of cool, though. I will say that.
I'm waiting for the day that I can finally have a Void Soul, an Arc Soul, a Solar Soul, and a No Time to Explain.
It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Well, with the new Warlock exotic, you can get 3 or 4.
Sorry, go ahead.
You get 3 or 4 void souls, but what he's talking about is getting one of every element, and plus the time gauntlet.
If you're on Void with a new Warlock exotic, you can retrieve your Void Soul. So you can cast it and bring it back. Then if you go into someone's Arc Rift, then you get an Arc Buddy. And then if you have no time, you can have 3 or 4.
You can have like almost every color. You just can't complete Captain Planet, is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
The
Infinity Orbs are not there to be made yet.
Yes. It's very close. But I find it very funny that like you have the turret in for stasis, but you don't have like a stasis buddy that walks around with you. Like if the turret was automated, that'd be a little terrifying, like in terms of the grand scheme of things. So thankfully you don't have a buddy for every variant, but this is fine. Now, for the folks that were saying that we're kind of sad that we didn't get another subclass, it did feel a little weird that we didn't. I'm not gonna lie. Like especially with like there was the leak, quote unquote, recently, it did feel a little weird not to get a new subclass, but at the same time, I'm excited for what we're getting. I'm really excited.
Okay, is anyone just a bit upset that Panda just skipped over Hunters just now and didn't even talk about that?
What are these hunters you speak of? We don't acknowledge hunters here.
Bro, okay. You cannot be serious right now. The fact that super was so freaking clean.
Hey, when I heard they recycled, I think it was the sound from the Night Stalker bow they recycled for the Blade Singer animation. I was kind of like, I'm good, thanks though. Like I'm Gucci. It's fine. Like good for y'all. Y'all get to zip around and be crackheads. That's fine. But I'm here for my axe. I'm here to ask people questions. I don't need to worry about your hunters doing zippy zips. Like I'm Gucci.
Okay, look, finally, my freaking hunter can be a full-on representation of my freaking ADHD freaking cracked out self. And I'm freaking down for it. All right. That was freaking absolutely fantastic. And it's just like, I'm like, okay, give me reasons to use something than freaking Gathering Storm on Arc. Yes. And it's like, okay,
y'all want a new super for so long, and then you finally got it. Like y'all used to bitch so much about Arc Staff, and then they finally give you the dream super you wanted. Now you're like, I want another one. Like what? Like I don't know.
I don't know. It feels like this new super is filling into the freaking whole fantasy of the hunter motif,
right?
And not only that, freaking, I won't lie. After seeing that and then seeing the freaking new strand aspect, which we'll talk about later, it's like, okay, at this point, you might as well just give us ninja running and let us be full on freaking ninjas at this point.
I mean, to be fair, they kind of gave Titans ninja running with the main strand super. So like,
I'll say about Hunters, it feels like the trailer kind of, or the reveal event kind of did them dirty, because they went kind of in depth on the Titan axe,
right?
And they showed how it worked, how you could share the axes and stuff. With Sunsinger, they went into another great deal, like saying, I'm gonna keep calling it Sunsinger. I'm sorry, I'm a D1 vet. They keep going. They went to the Sunsinger, like how, you know, the Scorch melee split into twice as many projectiles, so the grenades, you know, do more damage. How you add Scorch to your teammates. With the Hunter, it was just like, yeah, you throw your nade, you do a twirl, you throw your knife, you do a twirl, you can do that 3 times. Okay, here's the next part of the show.
Yeah,
the twirl reminds me a lot of Blade Dancer from D1, and
that's
anyone who played anyone who played Crucible in D1 knows how terrifying Arcblade was. So
then they just moved it over to they moved it over to the Void and never worried about it again.
Yeah.
Like, now you have a staff for Arc. You don't get blades no more. That's a Void thing.
But the thing with the Arc Super as well is it kind of adds like, so Hunters are like, we know they're good at traversing things. We know they're good at, you know, mobility is their main stat, apparently. Even though it does nothing in the game. But you get 3, depending on the range of the launch, you get some really good mid-air like maneuverability off that.
That's fair.
Like, I can picture people using that as, say, like, I don't know, the jumping puzzle in Vow of the Disciple. I know a lot of people nowadays just strand across it. I can see a lot of people trying to see like how far they can throw their knife and like see what kind of weird places they can get to out of bounds.
That's fair. That's very fair.
King's Fall.
Yes.
Screw you, Dickwall.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I will agree that they did kind of like skip over. I think it was because like A, they recycled the sound effect from a different Hunter super, and B, that there wasn't really a whole lot they could say beyond like you zip, you zap, and you're done. Like there wasn't really a whole lot to really behold there. Like they could have said, "Oh, you jolt things." But they didn't say that. We don't know what to do, but I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. And like shout out to Delore369 in chat, because you do exist. I just like. I'm a Titan main since D1 beta. I clown on Hunters because it's fun, and like I have a vendetta against like every like Cade mega fan in existence, which we'll talk about in a bit. So just understand that like you exist, but like I just clown on hunters because it's fun. All right, so from the super reveal, I definitely feel like the next big thing that I was kind of fascinated by while watching this was just the fact that they were like the opening thing of just, hey, you're going back to the D1 tower, and it was like, but Bungie, we want the D1 tower back in the main world. We don't want this weird thing inside the Traveler.
Can I say the Pale Heart is taken from our memories, right?
Yes.
Like it's built from our memories. Is Eververse that implanted in the Guardian's brain that she gets a fucking advert in the remade tower? Like,
Eververse isn't just a title; it's a promise.
It's a brain worm that will never leave. It's infected the light.
Oh my god!
If the Traveler could speak, is like, it gave me a thumbs up. I can't do this anymore, Guardian.
Oh my god, I can't.
I feel like I'm the only person who noticed the giant Eververse sign by the
didn't.
Postmaster.
That's so funny.
Oh my god, it blurred out of my freaking brain when I watched it, but now that you say it, I can't fucking see it.
Oh man,
there better be a light version of Tess Everest inside, and you can just visit Eververse.
It's like,
from
hi
the
Guardian.
tower.
It's like, Tess, how are you here? No, never you mind. Never you mind. Like, just like want to buy some things from the Eververse? You find out, and like the here's the best part. Here's the best part. You go over to her at the D1 tower, and she has sparrow horns.
Yes. give me the King's Fall horn again. I want to terrorize New Lights with the King's Fall.
The best part is they flat out like restrict you and say you can only use sparrow horns inside the Pale Heart because it's a memory. They're gone. And I'd be like, that's kind of messed up, Bungie. And then I could totally see I did see one thing on Twitter where it was like, hey, this is pulled from our memories, right? So can we get Sparrow Racing League back in the Pale Heart? And I was like, that's kind of a good idea. I've been saying for a long time the D1 tower definitely needed to come back. And everyone's been saying, hey, we've been rebuilding for a long time now. Where's the D1 tower? And man, I kind of have to agree. It feels a little out of pocket that they're like, "Hey, yo, here's the D1 tower now." It's a little weird, I will say. But in terms of the grand scale, I love that I was right about how Cade's coming back. That they even said he's the Virgil from Dante's Inferno, where he's a spirit guide. I called it. All you freaking crazy ass hunter mains that want to suck Cade off. I was like he's not back. He's literally just Virgil. He's gonna be here for 5 minutes. He's gonna say his goodbyes to Ikora and Zavala, and then he's gonna peace out. And the only thing you gonna have is Ace of Spades, and I ain't gonna hear nothing else from you. We done. We are done. I hear you got him back for 5 minutes, and then we done.
I have thoughts on Cade. I'm gonna let Cage and you guys talk about Cade in a positive light, because I'm gonna bring the mood way down.
I mean, I'm right here with you, homie. I've been saying Cade fans needed to shut up for a hot minute. I've been saying that granted, I'm not the biggest fan of freaking whatchamacallit of Crow being a thing and being the Hunter Vanguard, because I don't like Crow either way, but I was ready for a change. I was ready for a new era of Destiny, and then everyone's like, Cade, where's Cade? And I'm like, bro, shut up. Please stop, I beg of you. Every time I'm in trials or just any kind of content, and I see Cade's flying aces or Cade's dirty aces, I'm just like, y'all need to stop. You have a problem. Please, I need it to stop. It's one thing to dick ride, but when you're dick riding more than the Boondocks episode where Will.i.am made a song called Dick Riding Obama, there's a problem here. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say to that. But Cajun, how do you feel about Cade coming back now that I've done ripped him a new one?
Okay, first off, before we get into that, are you keeping that same energy for the Marsov's thigh gaps and the freaking?
I mean, to be fair, I think Marsov is
and all those other freaking accounts. Come on, seriously, keep that same energy.
No one wants to hear my opinion about Marsov, because I think Marsov's an abuser, and the fact that we glorify an abuser is a problem. But no one wants to hear my opinion about that.
Oh, I have a counter argument to you, Panda. But again, we're not going to get into that because this podcast will just be why Marasov is a better character now than she was 2 years ago. Sorry, Cajun.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
Tower said speak,
Oh,
Panda. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. It's a war.
Anyways, okay. So believe it or not, before we even were mutuals over on TikTok, we both called it. And I actually had a lot of people kind of ripping me, up and down over the fact that I called what I saw, because it was very obvious in the teaser that yes, this is Cade, but it's not the Cade that we knew. This is in a different form.
Right.
So it made sense from a narrative standpoint that we were getting a guide, if you will, in whatever form of afterlife or what we were seeing. And now that we know that it's the Pale Heart, the inside of the Traveler, it makes absolute sense that this is, Cade 6 is our guide, to kind of help us finish the fight, if you will.
Right.
For me, this is a perfect send-off for Cade as a character. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Cade. He was one of the reasons why I became a Hunter main. But at the same time, it feels like a natural thing to do. The team was talking about the narrative in regards to K6. The team knew that in order for the Light and Dark saga to finish, this was something that had to be there. Because without Cade, it just didn't feel like a perfect way to end the Light and Dark saga. So I'm glad that he's not full on returning,
Right.
because then it would just feel cheap, if you will.
Speak on it. Yep. Alchemy, do you want to give some opinions before I let DanJon cut loose?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, DanJon, how you feeling?
All right. I agree with what you guys have said so far. I don't know. I know some people in chat, because I know them personally, have seen it. Any of you guys watched Critical Role? I'm bringing
Yes.
D&D to a Destiny podcast. I am
Let's
doing
go.
this.
Let's go.
Right. What is your opinion on Molly Mark? If you've watched Pain 2.
I liked when they brought him back as a villain, when he was inhabited by somebody else.
Yeah.
But I appreciated when they let Taliesin play something else.
Right.
Death. As someone who comes from the realm of comic books, I get real tired of people saying dead is dead, and then dead not actually being dead. That's my big hot take. Is dead. I remember when Valiant Comics came back into the picture back in 2012, and their big statement was dead is dead. If we kill somebody, they're not coming back, and they were very firm on that. And I appreciated that. I need stories to be finite. I need progression to occur with characters. And ever since they did that reveal, it felt like they just sort of cut Crow's progression. And other than the Amanda, we ain't heard nothing from this man in 2 seasons. Man is grieving, and we ain't heard nothing from him. And it kind of sucks. And like I said, I'm not even the biggest Crow fan. I can give 2 licks. I think he's emo and he needs to go back to Hot Topic. But at the end of the day, I appreciate the fact that we're having new stories and having new developments. So I get where you're throwing at in terms of Molly Mock. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and cut loose.
Well, so here's the thing. I don't like Molly Mark. I don't like the community's fascination with Molly Mark, because I think he died in episode 36.
Yeah, something like that.
So we had 36 episodes to get to know him. And to me, that wasn't enough. And we had 100 so episodes getting used to Vox Machina and everything. We grew relationships with those guys. We didn't really have that time to grow into Molly Mark. So I felt nothing of his death.
Yeah, my 9 was a weird time period.
Yeah, and the community dick writing, Molly Mark in my head had one good moment, and that was I am your god, bearer of my fruits. But the community dick writing for Molly Mark got so much, and I hated it. I feel the same way as Cade. I don't feel that we had enough time and enough interactions with Cade to really get to know him as a true character. In Vanilla D1, he was monotone. He was a stereotypical hunter, and he didn't have a lot of personality. No one in Vanilla D1 had a lot of personality. Forsaken, they grew him out a little bit. but they made him the comedic relief, and it was a fun way of doing it. He was an unserious character in a very serious world, and it was good. Rise of Iron, we barely heard shit from him until the reprise strikes, in which case he says Shaxx got fisted so hard by Ikora he couldn't sit down for a week. And then in D2, they just flanderized him. He became the stupid hunter.
Well, like, one thing that I've said for a long time is that Cade is just a Deadpool knockoff, to the point that when Forsaken occurred and his voice actor was busy, they called Deadpool in to voice him because Nolan North has played Deadpool.
But to be fair, Nolan North is a chameleon.
True.
That man can mimic anyone alive.
Right. And also for the Gamer Domain in chat who said, Panda, speaking of comic book deaths, Alfred is dead and has been dead for 5 years. That is he's not 5 years. It's been shorter than that. But at the same time, fuck Tom King. Alfred can come back and shouldn't have died in the first place. Just to give Damien some character development. No. Fuck Tom King. But that's a whole other that's a whole other debate. But go back to what you're saying.
But the thing with Cade, right, his death was an important catalyst for the game because it brought us a grittier story, even though if you look back at Forsaken, the story was kind of mid, hot take. Right. But it gave us a grittier story. It gave us a villain that people hated in Uldren. And it gave us his redemption arc as being reborn as Croak. And it gave us this dilemma of, is the person you were before you were resurrected as a Guardian resembling of who you are now? And we know the answer to that story now through Crow's development is no, you're a different person. But then the entire community is like, we want Cade back. We want Cade back. Cade 7, bring us Cade back. That Bungie had to put a thing into fucking Beyond Light to say if we brought Cade back, he would not be the same.
Exactly.
To get the community to shut up. But I agree with Cajun. This is the perfect way to bring Cade back because he's gonna be, let's be honest, the Nimbus of the final shape. He's gonna be the area vendor. So he can't leave the pale heart of the tower. He's gonna be connected intrinsically to the final shape story. Maybe they'll bring, because we're probably gonna get onto episodes in later, but the episodes are gonna be sprung from the resolutions of the final shape.
Right.
But if Cade is a light manifestation, he can't leave the Traveler. So he's there. So they're going to have him be kind of a focal point, have him quip in the story, quip in the side missions, quip in the strikes. And then the next DLC, he's nothing again. And I think that's the perfect thing because the Vanguard has moved on from Cade. Zavala has been... We've had Zavala's entire story about him grieving for his wife. And then, in turn, that would have helped him grieve for Cade. Ikora's had to evolve past her relationship with Cade, and she's grown as a person. It's like... I think someone said it to me. It's like bringing back your ex after not thinking about them for 5 years.
That's a great way to think about it, yeah. And, like, to be fair, I can see where Cade fans can feel robbed because of Nolan North voicing him and not Edith Villian and Forsaken. So it felt kind of weird with the "how's your sister" line coming from your ghost 5 minutes later. It felt kind of out of pocket. I could understand it from that argument. But at the same time, like the like over saturation and the over love that he gets, because truth be told, I know some Cade fans that are like, just like, we love Ace of Spades, we love Cade, cool, he's a cool character, fine, no matter. You can like a character. Hell, I have Saint's freaking emblem tattooed to my chest, but do you see me going like, oh my god, Saint 14, my whole clan Saint 14, like non-stop? No, like. It's not like that. You can like a character without being a simp. Like, just because you want, like you don't have to be riding a character where you're a stan and you're gonna have a freak attack over it. So, like, I totally welcome people to be excited about it. When the reveal happened at whatever show, I forget what show it was. Like they had at I think it was the PlayStation Expo. They like had the reveal and people were like DMing me going, "Panda Cade's back." I'm like, good for you. I don't really care. But, like, I support you.
I think there's one way they could have brought Cade's back better, though.
Okay, speak on it.
So, through the last 3 years, we've been told that the darkness is manifesting our fears, Guardians' fears, to work against us. You had Sophia for Zavala, you had Eris's fire team, you had Gol for Keitel, you had Aldrin for Crow. I would have liked it if they not just brought Cade back, but they brought people that were important to us back, like NPCs that we've lost or people that we've lost to act as our, like, those nightmares were they are detriments, they are fears.
Like
Why
they
not
said,
have it the light
Cade's was Ikora's in the lore book. We never saw that.
Yeah, but what I would have liked for them to bring back like Cade or Amanda or like Ariana or like Eris's fire team or like Wei Ning for Titans or like the Iron Lords, or just bring back other Guardians from the past to act as our inspiration, be the counterpoint to the darkness, bringing memories back for pain, have the light bring memories back for motivation, for good. And they could still do that. They could just be using Cade because everyone remembers Cade. But I would have really liked to see, like, because if you remember back in Vanilla D2, we had those memory missions where, like, for example, in the Storm Transmission, the world's worst Welsh accent with Scotty, do not get me started. But you had these memories of Guardians past, like, telling us what it was to be those subclasses.
Right.
And I'd have liked, I don't think it'll happen, but I'd have liked it to happen, like, if just Cade comes back to remind us what it is to be a hunter, or like Amanda comes back to remind us what it is to be a person who lives in the last age. Just have these reminders of what we're fighting for and these motivations, not just Cade.
I'm gonna call it right now. The stinger, like the after credit stinger for Final Shape, is gonna be the same way they did Aldrin's at the end of Forsaken. Amanda's coffin's gonna open. I put money on it right now.
Well,
like,
to come back as a Guardian.
Yeah, I'll put money on it right now. They're like, "Hey, you won. Here's Amanda." Like, I'll put money on it because it just feels really weird. But I get what you're saying, though. I really do. Cajun, do you have any response before we move on?
Okay, so I get what DanJon's saying, and to be honest, and I saw this comment in the freaking chat. Everybody doesn't even talk. Everybody's talking about all these other characters, but no one ever talks about the speaker. I think if Bungie wants to freaking if Bungie wants to hit the nail on the freaking head, we better hear and see from characters that we've seen before in the past, like Asher and other characters, including the speaker. If there's anyone that we should be seeing also in the final shape,
it's a speaker.
Bring back the speaker.
They threw that man to the side when D2 started. They said, "F you, my guy."
Because I won't lie, my girlfriend was sitting here watching me during the showcase, and when they showed that cutscene during the pre-show of our first interaction, I was after the first mission, and where the speaker's talking to us. That still to me is a very emotional freaking time, because
agreed.
That's the first time that you really get the sense of the scale and scope of what was Destiny and what they had planned. And even now, how much that resonates now, especially with the story. We didn't know it back then, but that was literally setting the course for the entire Dark and Light saga. And it's like, oh my God, if there's ever a time that we need to hear from the speaker again, or a time to reflect on that, it's got to be in the Pale Heart. It's got to be Final Shape.
Right about that.
And the thing is, Bill Nighy loved playing the speaker.
Yeah.
Like, there's stories of him crying when he delivered his last words, and he liked the role so much that he asked Bungie for a mask of the speaker, and they gave it to him when he left the series. So it's not like it's not like it's not like Gina Torres where she's too busy, or like, when Nathan
that still
Fillion
gets under
left.
my skin, because I saw her that new first person game recently, and I'm like,
Same.
Gina, you looking suspect, Gina.
Same.
You look a real suspect.
But like, or Nathan Fillion left because it coincided with Cade leaving because he was too busy with the rookie and everything.
Right.
Bill Nighy has a known love for this series. I'd have loved to hear, because let's be fair, the only words we've heard from the speaker since year one of D2 is, bravery inspires devotion inspires bravery, bravery inspires sacrifice, sacrifice leads to death. Don't get me started. That phrase has been driven into the fucking dirt.
Yeah.
But God, the speaker is like, I know Mad said like the thing with bringing the speaker back is they have to reintroduce him to new lights. That's fair.
But see, at the same time, like my counterpoint to that is, I was going to touch on this when we got to it because of the reintroducing the Forsaken mission and the Abridged Beyond Light and the Abridged Witch Queen thing. Why didn't we get a Red War mission? Why didn't we get a Curse of Osiris mission and a Warbind mission? Like, if you would have saw the speaker die, like these new lights seeing the speaker go out the way he did, we wouldn't have to worry about Bill Nighy popping back up in 6 months. We wouldn't have to worry about that. The fact that we the fact that they were like, hey yo, we're just gonna, like, you know how we just took Forsaken out of the game like a year ago? We're just gonna put it back in a little bit for the new lights who joined in the past year. And it's
have you done the remade mission, by the way?
I have not yet, because I didn't feel like listening to Nolan North argue with himself about buttons for 5 minutes. I just didn't care. Like
they did it very interestingly, because I remember when Bungie took Forsaken out of the game, they were like, we're taking it out because, you know, the last few seasons have been about Crow and his story. We don't want the new lights to be confused about, like, oh, why did Crow kill Kraid and now he's loved? They addressed that at the end of the mission. So they play a cutscene saying, like, why Cade's death inspired us to, you know, seek vengeance. And then Ikora says, however, that's not the end of Uldren's story. And it shows this cutscene of Glint resurrecting him. And it goes into the recent history of Crow and tells us how important the new identity is for Guardian. Because he says, we tried to keep his life secret, but then it got told to him, but he's not the same person.
Yeah, they put Mara Juno to work. But
honestly, I did it on stream the day after the showcase, and to be honest, they did a really good job. And to me, this is like a good stepping point for a lot of new players coming into Destiny, because it really kind of touches on the story.
Right.
Well, as far as the Red War, and I was thinking about this the other night after we had our little talk about it. If there's ever a mission where we need to touch on or like replay, I think everybody in this freaking channel and on this podcast is going to agree with me on this one. It's the mission in which we reconnect to the light.
Agreed.
Yes.
It should just be one fluid thing where you do the opening, where like, people can like do that whole battle sequence, and then you go all the way through the whole thing. They do a cutscene at the farm, and then you go straight into the reuniting with the light. It'd be really fluid. You could do it really easy. But like, and I even said when Lightfall came out, we should have had a Red War level event when light fell. That should have been how we started Lightfall. Like yeah, we had the whole like flying in space and people get cut in half and whatnot. But Lightfall should have started like how like because we had like the Season of Defiance where like ships were coming down and whatnot. But it wasn't like tower gone, like people enslaved. We're at the farm. Hawthorne's here. Granted, I've been saying for like every podcast episode since Amanda died that like Hawthorne should have died instead of Amanda, but like no one wants to hear me on that. But it's fine. It's fine. But like
people wouldn't have been as impactful a death.
That's fair. I don't know. I just it feels really weird the way they did it. So like I just it was very like especially because the way they like choreographed Amanda heading out the door. It was very much like why not just use Hawthorne? Like we haven't heard a single thing from Hawthorne besides you really like them clans, don't you, bud? And it's like we don't need her. Have get rid of Gambit and have Drifter run clans. Like do that.
The one thing I'd say with that though, I know we're getting wildly off topic.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Hawthorne's story was kind of done in Red War. Her entire story was to remind the Guardians who had lost their light, look, it's not just you in the last city. You've got these hundreds of thousands of people who have also been uprooted. You don't need to just take care of the Guardians. You need to take care of them as well.
Which is fair,
there was also, you had that sequence just before the final mission where you have the cutscene of the citizens of the last city and the former guardians without their light working together, knowing that one stray bullet could wipe them out, but they work together and they succeed in their mission. And that is the culmination of Hawthorne's story, showing that guardians and the people of the city can work together.
Right.
But did she need to be a vendor? That's the thing with me.
And plus, my counter with that is, like, your whole thing there is, Devrim's still here. We using Devrim.
True.
Why can't we use Hawthorne? Like recast her if need be. Like, Hawthorne's just sit in the tower with her bird. Like, if you blow up the EDZ, make Devrim be the new clan person. Like, he's just sitting there selling us crap. Like, he ain't doing nothing important. Like, it's not like with Shaw Hall where he actually has a job. Like, Devrim ain't doing nothing. So it's just, I don't know, it's weird. But
speaking of Planet Vendors, I have a platform. Bungie, please give us anything to do with failsafe. Anything to do with failsafe.
For so long.
She is my favorite character in this game, unironically. She has been sat on her own in a fucking decrepit ship since year one. Like,
Captain,
we have friendly Vex now. We have hints to Siva in the lore. Wrath is probably coming back next year. We just give me anything to do with failsafe, please. We have the technology now to put artificial intelligence in of exo frames. Give us her as an exo, please.
Put her in a Vex body and let her run clans. Kill Hawthorne.
Okay, thank you.
Failsafe 2024.
You just said what I was thinking too.
Failsafe 2024. Like, let's go.
If there's anyone to ever replace Hawthorne in a tower, yes, give us failsafe.
Yeah.
I'd sit in a tower just for that.
Put her in a little box. Just put her in a little box up on the ledge and be like, "Hi, Commander." Like, let's just do that. Be done with it. Like, but yeah, no, I definitely feel what you're saying there. Yeah, failsafe needs love, real bad.
Failsafe needs mad love. She's done nothing for 7 years.
So
6
subjugators.
Okay.
While I'm a little excited about this because I enjoy new like disciple-esque characters, I've been asking for a like base disciple race for a long time now, and they're really dancing around it. Like, we need grunts. We need grunts that aren't just taken and scored by Bungie. Those pyramid ships need to be filled with something besides Shadow Cabal scored and taken. We need a grunt class. We need something that's just fodder for the darkness people. Like, if I roll onto a pyramid ship, I shouldn't see no Shadow Cabal, I shouldn't see no Taken, I shouldn't see no Scorn. I should see Tormentors, Subjugators, and then like little grunt motherfuckers, like the small little like little Rolks running around trying to beat my ass. Like that's what it should be.
Just tank-sized like Rolks from Borderlands 3,
literally
just running
around, literally like have them do the same Thrall run and just be little like shadow Rolks, like little like things. Like,
they have a little tiny glaive as well.
Right, like just do something. I've been asking for a new race in this game for so long, and they're like, what if we give you zombie Elixir? No! What if we give you a different color of Cabal? No! Like, I need something new.
I think I've killed Cajun with the tink-sized Rolks.
Oh my god! I can see it! And the best part is,
come back here, Guardian! I'm ready to kick your ass!
You just feel a pinprick in your kneecaps, just like bang. Just explode with dragonfly rounds.
Nelly just said in the TikTok chat, what if we shatter the witness's head and then we fight his entire race in their base form? That'd be kind of wicked. That'd be kind of wicked. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, no, I just like now I will say, Bungie, if these subjugators suspend me longer than 3 seconds, I got beef because you nerfed my suspend. We all have beef. I swear to God, like, because you want to nerf my suspend, their suspend not gonna be better than my suspend. That's all I'm saying. Like, you disrespected me, but it's fine. It's fine. No big deal. But how we feel about Subjugators? Alchemy, how you feeling?
I honestly think it's going to be a nice addition because it's going to have us play more into dealing with the Strand debuffs.
Fair enough. Okay. I'm about to say, I think the Stasis one's gonna be cool. Bungie, can Stasis get some love, please? Like, I'm tired of Stasis just sitting in the corner and being the Jam Brady of the Destiny franchise. Can Stasis get some love, please? I need
I
it.
feel like I'm the odd one out. I don't like Stasis. I'm gonna say it. Personally, right? I have a I have a whole story and backstory for my Guardian, and I have written fan fiction for my Guardian. I hate the idea of her using stasis. I don't like the idea of us using darkness powers. The story I have for my obviously it's different from canon. The story in canon is what we play in the games,
right?
But I would have loved to have seen the story of like the light is enough to defeat the darkness. I'd have loved that story. I mean, don't get me wrong, Strand, hella fun. I love playing Strand.
You just like certain colors over others, is what I'm hearing.
I just never. I was really excited for Shadebinder. Being a wizard with a staff? Fuck yes. But I just never gelled with Stasis. I didn't like how it was presented in the story, where it became, our last resort, and it was the only thing we could do to defeat Aramis.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love the story between Elsie and Anna.
Right.
But the quests were fucking awful.
We just fixed that, though. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But it didn't fix it for me. I played Beyond Light. I had to get 50 stasis kills in Gambit.
Same.
Don't feel bad. I endured all that crap. Okay, I only did it for my freaking hunter back in Beyond Light, and then I just recently got back just before Lightfall. Guess who grinded out 2 freaking characters worth of freaking stasis
I am
crap?
so sorry.
Only for 2 seasons later for them to say, "Oh, guess what? We're gonna make it easier." Timing, Bungie, timing. Come on.
I'm not gonna lie. I took so much advantage of the just buy it from Elsie on Tuesday. I now have stasis on all 3 characters. Am I gonna use it? Am I fucked?
I mean,
but
man,
I have
honestly,
it now.
It just feels like you'd rather be Spider-Man than Iceman in my chat, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's all I'm hearing right now is I like Spider-Man comics over X-Men comics. Is what I'm hearing right now.
I mean, if I liked comics, that would be true, but.
Fair enough. Okay, so the showcase definitely leaves some interesting things in terms of like the fact. One thing that I wanted to touch on is I'm very interested in the fact that this is the first time Bungie is saying the world is going to be linear from the jump, and then once you defeat the witness, they're gonna expand it. I really am intrigued by that. But Bungie, I will say one thing: if you do this, you better add fast travel points post campaign. I'm getting real tired of you not adding fast travel points and then having to patch them in later Beyond Light. Like I need you to actually care about my feet, Bungie. My Sparrow can only go so fast, Bungie. I'm just saying.
So it is definitely a good. Okay, first off, let me say it's definitely a different approach for Bungie to do this. Whereas we're so used to having this destination and then all these offshoots on the side being where the missions are and whatnot. Whereas this time we're going to get a linear campaign where it's literally going to take us through this whole journey up to the freaking monolith in the Pale Heart. And then after the campaign, we're going to get that full unlock. We're going to see that full experience of the Pale Heart in the open world that we're very used to in all these other campaigns. Now, this is where thinking upon this, Panda, we've had these discussions about, the game dev and stuff. I'm wondering if this is a way for them to kind of shrink the size of, DLC potentially in the future. And at the same time, still giving the experience that we're used to with all these destinations.
Interesting.
So it's gonna be really interesting to see how they play this. But at the same time, I feel like the linear experience is going to give us the full-on, fleshed-out experience that we want from a campaign.
Fair enough.
that we wouldn't get if we had that open destination and the missions here, there, and everywhere.
Fair enough. I think
Yeah.
the one thing that I'm looking forward to is one thing that Blackburn said, where it's like, hey, yo, there's no like, do this quest here, go do something else over here, unlock a subclass here. No, it's you got the witness, go fight the witness. I've been waiting for something like that for a hot minute, where it's just you have a goal, go do it, and I've been waiting for that. I'm really excited about that. We have a one-track mind. We're gonna go do the one-track thing and get this over with. I really like that. It really intrigues me that like hey, the further you go into the Pale Heart, the weirder it's gonna get. I'm like, interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
But Cajun, I'll counterpoint your the thing about them shrinking the destinations. I've said this in the Twitch chat the last couple of episodes of the podcast I've been able to catch. Bungie over the last few weeks and months have told us they're only interested in doing things that they think the community will appreciate or positively receive. They've said that with Gambit, they've said that with Goosebumps Maps, they said that with Fashion. You know, there's all these things you guys have talked about to death the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to retread ground.
Right.
I have a feeling they're kind of doing the same with the Pale Heart, because if you think the last couple of destination zones have all been a 3-location system where you have the main spawn and some extra locations, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If you think, when was the last time you went to Reed's Reborn Approach? When was the last time you went to the area of, I forget what the actual area is called, but you know, the starting area of the Lightblade Strike in Patrol? When was the last time anybody went there?
Yeah.
They're taking out these areas that people, if it is just a straight arrow with very little offshoots apart from lost sectors, it's another thing of, thank you, Salami, Queen's Bailey. But it's another thing of Bungie putting their effort into things that people are going to enjoy and they're going to actually use and do.
I'm gonna counter that though.
Go on.
The one thing that everyone's been asking for a hot minute that Bungie's been sort of dropping the ball on is Dreaming City level destinations where you could just be doing a bounty one day and you fall through a portal and you're in a whole new area with new things, a chest, like some taking a fight. Like, people have been wanting that kind of system for destinations for a long time. But if you look at like Europa, the Throne World, and even Neo Muda, people thought Neo Muda was gonna be huge. Neo Muda is base. Like, it is like very like, yeah, there's some skyscrapers, but you can drive around the whole thing in like 10 minutes. Like,
yeah.
people thought Neo Muda was gonna be like Spider-Man PS4 New York big. They were expecting like that whole thing where you jump out of a skyscraper and you like grapple and whatnot. People thought that was gonna be the norm, and then it wasn't. It was.
But
very
I
much
think that is very much an issue with presentation and marketing, because all the marketing material had
That's
Guardians
fair.
swinging through. Had Guardians swinging around the skyscrapers. All of the marketing material had us swinging with Strand. There was nothing on the ground. So it built up that perception that it was going to be a much larger area. We'd have to use Strand to navigate it. We don't see that with the Pale Heart. They're very much like, they're obviously keeping a lot of cards close to their chest. They want us to explore the area. They want us to see how it evolves. But we saw the D1 Tower. We saw a place that was very reminiscent of the Last City. We saw a place that was kind of reminiscent, in my opinion, to the Dreaming City with the trees
saw part of the
and the
Cosmodrome.
rocks. A little bit of Cosmodrome. And there was the area with the big heads, the lots of bones, and a giant ghost. Like,
the giant ghost.
That's
was
all
freaky.
we've seen so far. And they've kept us very grounded, and they've used that sense of scale. So I think we're not going to have that much of an issue with the Pale Heart, like you said, with the people expecting different things for the location.
Right.
Because they're really focusing on different things with the Pale Heart. They're telling us to expect different things. I don't think it's going to be a problem with that. But I bet you they are probably going to be adding portals and stuff to be a way of getting from like location 2 to location 8 quicker than just driving through it all.
True, but
I would not be surprised if this
though,
this portal. levels.
Yeah, and like what I was trying to hit at that though is look what happened with Shattered Throne. Bungie had never did a dungeon before, but people happened upon it. It was by accident. That's what I mean about the Dreaming City, where like that world is so immersive and huge. Where like, yeah, it has one fast travel point, but the difference of scale in terms, like they very much went Dark Souls with the Dreaming City in terms instead of like with Neomuna and Witch Queen and Beyond Light, they went sort of like Dark Souls 3-ish, where it's very linear. You have specific zones you go to, versus with the Dreaming City, you go here, that way, this way. Like to this day, there's still like websites that track the Ascended challenges and tell you where the Ascended challenges are because of how diverse and how huge that world is. Versus with the Throne world, you ain't going to the Queen's Bailey no more. You ain't got no reason to. Like you went there for the glaive missions, and you went there for the for the worm mission, but you ain't going back there. You have no, like to this day, there is no reason to go talk to Finch unless you really need yourself the weapons. There is no reason to go talk to Finch ever again. Like same thing with Europa. I even was talking to Zay Osiris on Twitter this past week about it, where he was talking about that Coriolis Force, the fusion rifle from Beyond Light needs a buff. I was saying, F that, buff all those weapons, rework all of those weapons from Beyond Light, because the weapons from Beyond Light, excuse me, were the biggest pain point for a lot of people, because they went, hey yo, we're gonna take all your weapons, we're sunsetting all your stuff, and then we're gonna give you like dollar store weapons in Beyond Light.
I can't even name any of them from Beyond Light. I'm gonna be completely honest here.
Because that's a problem. It's like those weapons are hardly used. For the longest time, the only solar auto rifle in the game was the one from Beyond Light, and it still has horrible perks. Like unless you went and got Summoner, you had no solar auto rifle until Ambit came out. And that was a problem. Like the fact that those weapons are so bad, they need to be reissued and give you a reason to go do that. The only reason anyone even looked sideways at the Beyond Light weapons recently was because True Vanguard made a video about the sidearm. Otherwise, there's been no reason to even go near those weapons for the past 2 years. So like Beyond Light as a whole, it sort of falls in the same vein as Dreaming City, where there's a couple pockets here and there. But look at the dynamic weather system. We ain't seen not a hair of that dynamic weather system since Beyond Light came out. And it's like, are we gonna get dynamic weather in the Pale Heart? Maybe. I don't know.
I'd like to just going off of the location thing. I'd like to throw a spanner and a hot take.
Okay.
After the final shape, I don't want another location for the next 2 DLCs.
Ooh.
I want them to use what they have or expand on where we are. Because if you look at the Taken King, I'm going to use the Taken King because I'm running a couple of friends of mine through it recently.
Okay.
If you look at the Taken King, yes, they gave us the Dreadnought.
Right.
Dreadnought, huge location. Everyone loves the Dreadnought. But if you look at the missions, right, you have the one-off mission on Phobos. You then go back to Earth and they expand on the Cosmodrome. You then go to the I forgot the name of it. I just said it. The Dreadnought twice. You visit the Dreadnought for the first time to set up the patrol space. Then you find out you're not ascended. You can't go through the portal. After that, you go back to Earth to grab Rasputin, go to an area of Rasputin we had never gone before to get the cloaking device. Right. Then we go into Crota's End, a place that we hadn't been to as a mission before. And then we go back to the Dreadnought. Rise of Iron, yes, they gave, like, all the other DLCs since, they have given us a new location with each place. But the thing is, the more locations that are in the game now, the less important they are. And
I feel like you just have a really big boner for Nessus, and you want Nessus to be a
thing. It's not Nessus that I have the thing with. It's the EDZ.
Oh, okay.
Because if you remember, in Curse of Osiris, there's that area in the EDZ where we find Sagira.
Yeah.
Where you find her shell. You can't access that area anymore.
You can't. You're right.
And there's not just that area. There's another area near there. There's the Black Armory areas. There's a pass-through area in that direction towards Sagira where we can't visit anymore again. But there was like a beach and there was an overpass there, and it was a really beautiful location.
Hell, there's that area in the tank mission from Red War that we randomly went into during Season of Defiance when Amanda died.
Yep.
And I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I ain't been here in a minute.
But then, okay, I'm going to hit the Nessus drum again. You've got all the ancillary areas of Nessus. You've got the Nessus core that we only go into for the battleground, and we went there for the Forge missions. And then you've got, if they want, they could bring back, well, I say bring back, but like you can have a mission on Mars. You've got areas of the moon, like we haven't
Can
gone
we go back
to
to Mars, please? Like, I hate that the only way we go back to Mars now is a mission. It makes me so upset. Like, I want Mars back. I want like freaking the one like public event back so bad. Like
Escalation Protocol.
Yes, I want that so bad, man.
God.
Like that'd have been the great. Like if they go, hey, here's Mars back, because that like Mars is the one destination. Like cool. We don't have Titan. We don't have like Venus. That's fine. But the fact that the fact that the throne world in the Enclave is on Mars, but we can't go to Mars is so agonizingly frustrating. Like, I just want to go play Escalation Protocol, and then you want to like tease us with it during the mission where it's like the Hive are sending an ogre. I want to go fight ogres, dang it! Like let me have it. But I get what you're saying though.
But the thing is, like, I want them to use these areas more because they've got all these nooks and crannies that we haven't visited for years that they could put missions into. Like, I don't know if y'all who have played Taken King remember in the Taken War Mars quest, the final mission of that takes us to the Black Garden, where we fight a shade of Oryx there. The only reason we go to the Black Garden is because when Bungie were building Mars, they happened to just put the map for the Black Garden on the other side of a wall in Freehold Station.
Mm-hmm.
If you go out of bounds in Freehold, you can go into the Black Garden. So Bungie are like, right, we'll use this. We'll knock the wall down. Oh, the Taken have tethered the Black Garden to Mars. Like, you can do that stuff with other locations as well. Knock down walls, make new areas. I just want reasons to. Oh, that's a moth. Hello, Savathun. Sorry, there's a moth in my office. But I want. They've got all these areas. They're like, if we're telling stories about the ramifications now in the future of what happens in the final shape, and like. Again, we're probably going to be talking about like episodes of what we think of the future. One of them, I think, is about Dark Guardians. If you look at the first one, which I can't remember what's called, I think it's Echoes.
Yeah,
they're not going to give us a new location for Echoes. There's Guardians all over the system. We're going to go all over the system. Let's use these areas that Bungie put all this effort into, but then are just discarded when the new DLC comes out.
Yeah. Heck, even recently with Season of the Deep, it felt like when we went into the arcology. Did anyone else notice that the arcology during the one missions feels like it's a play set of the arcology rather than being the actual arcology? It feels like shrunk down a little bit. Like it felt very weird. Like when you're doing the 1-6-man activity, it felt like the arcology was shrunk down.
Different parts of the arcology that we were in patrol. Like we were on the other side of the arcology.
Okay, it felt real weird. Like almost like we were in a play set rather than being in the actual. Like it didn't feel like we were back in Savathun Song. It felt like we were in like a. Like a different version of everything, like it was shrunk down. Yeah. That's the problem I have with the Cosmodrome now. Where if you compare the Cosmodrome from D1 to D2, the Cosmodrome in D1 feels so much more expansive, so much more detailed. You go there in D2. It doesn't feel like that sometimes. It was very weird, like how some things translated over from to the new engine feel very like shrunk down and not as detailed. If that makes sense. But let's go ahead and dive into the new system. So, Bungie said straight up, hey, when the new expansion comes out, we're not doing seasons anymore. We're gonna try episodes. Episodes are gonna be this brand new concept. There's gonna be 3 per year. They're gonna be spaced out through the entire year with different systems, and there's gonna be 200 ranks for each battle pass. Because there's gonna be a longer system going on, and they're gonna be a new way to do narratives. They're gonna be different blocks. But what I'm really concerned about is while I'm really excited for like bigger seasons and bigger like chunks of time and bigger like content, I'm a little worried that Bungie didn't tell us what the price was. Felt a little suspicious.
So at this time, you know, we talked about this the other night, and this is my honest belief. If Bungie raises the price higher than what they've just set the seasons to, they're shooting themselves in the foot. Now, granted, Final Shape is currently right now the same price as Lightfall, both for the regular as well as for the deluxe edition. So now, for those being concerned that we're going from 4 seasons to 3 episodes, if you didn't watch the post Q&A show, Dan, the general manager of Bungie, stated episodes are a natural evolution of the seasonal model. Dan acknowledged that they did not hit the consistency that they wanted with seasons. This is once again Bungie acknowledging that they did not do or did not achieve what they wanted to with the seasons.
Okay.
So they're going to episodes as a means of holding themselves accountable, number one. Number two, delivering the content in a way that it's going to be able to be consistent and to the quality that they want it to deliver to the players. And they stated that it will hit differently, allow to throw some curveballs, and to, quote, get weird. Now, each episode is going to be divided into 6 acts during the episode. And that basically what this is going to boil down to is that you're going to get your initial 100, you're going to get some quests, some missions, all this, some of the stuff that we're used to in a standard season. But then in the next 6 weeks, we're going to get, 3 acts. Thank you, Tower Mom. And then in the next act, we're going to get more ranks. We're going to get more content, more story. And then in the last act, we're going to get that culmination of everything. And then the final set of ranks, etc. So, and that each of these acts is going to be 6 weeks. So this is going to come out to 18 weeks for an episode versus the 12 weeks that's currently in the seasonal model. So based upon everything that I'm seeing so far and what I've been, like I said, this is my assumption. I don't suspect that Bungie's going to raise the price.
Each one's going to be $20. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think each one's going to be $20. Because,
dude, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, if it's $20 at that point, I will then at that point concede to every individual that comes into my fucking comments and into my damn streams and says that Bungie charges too much for content. At that point, yes. If it is $20 an act, at that point, yes, you are correct. And at that point,
not per act, per episode. Each episode, if it's not 15, I'm going to say 15 as the minimum. Because I can see them going, hey, we already give you the $15 bundle. Each episode's going to be $15 because they're
how much is a standalone season now?
12 USD. It originally was 10 USD before last season, but it's now 12 USD.
Yeah, okay.
So what I'm saying is like, hey, if their justification is this is like these episodes are going to be larger than seasons, cool, $15 or $20. I can see because they're going to say A, inflation, and B, it's bigger than a season. I have a really bad feeling they're going to be like $15, $20 because that's their justification of it's larger content. We're giving you more ranks. We're giving you more of this and that, yada yada. And then I'm gonna be like, I'm glad I bought that annual pass because I ain't paying that $12.
So real quick, I see the Regulos comment and I want to kind of deep dive on that real quick because
they cost 15 because you can't buy 12. So yep, and in a case, I know what you're gonna say. You have this great pitch, this great marketing pitch that like you're a Bungie salesman.
No,
you're walking the vacuum cleaner.
I don't sales pitch this. I explain this that it is if you don't do the annual pass with the freaking Lightfall and you buy out the seasons,
right?
If you buy that bundle, let's say 3 seasons, and you don't touch that silver, yes, the fourth season, you essentially pays for itself.
Yep.
Now, as you pointed out, and I agree wholeheartedly, that is also a freaking nice little teaser it's bait, right? That extra free silver. Okay, but it's 500 silver. what can you really get for 500 silver on the Eververse War? Not a whole lot.
Ghost
couple,
projections.
You get a finisher, you get a ghost projection. Some of the ships are $500. You
But
can
not
you
the
can spend that
good
silver.
ones, though.
Not the good ones,
that
but
people want to buy.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much you're having to hope and pray that the one that you want goes on sale.
Right. So like, there's some things that are worth $500. Like it very much is bait.
But also take a look at the price point of the annual pass. Okay, it's $100. Or sorry, the annual pass with the game. It's $100. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you take 4 seasons, that's freaking quick right. That's $48. Okay, so that leaves $2. So that means that they're selling the quote unquote dungeon pass. Don't even get me started on that. Freaking, which by the way, you get both. You get both of the freaking dungeon passes in there,
Plus the seasons.
So it literally is the freaking most cost-effective way to go about it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Now, if they were to change that whole model in final shape and go to $15, at that point, it would be a significant. It would be like slightly less, but at the same time, it would be majorly impactful to the community as a whole.
Right.
I don't see Bungie doing it. And to be honest, if it goes higher than 12, yeah, absolutely. Freaking vote with your wallet. I will concur at that point.
I can understand. I would understand them raising the price to $15 because the community has said there is no direct way to buy the seasons with silver. You have to get the bundles.
Right.
The bundles are still a decent deal. Shoot me.
Like Bungie can flat out say like, "Hey, yo, you mad about the bundle? Fine. The episode's $15. Flat out."
The thing was, we're getting 33% more content per episode than with the seasons. We're getting more story missions, we're getting more ornaments, we're getting more season pass levels, more weapons, more things to do. We're getting a third more season per season.
Right.
So to me, paying a quarter more in like $3 if you buy the season by itself is fine. Because I mean, I remember in D1 when the Dark Below was $20. The Dark Below was not worth $20. It really was. It was 3 story missions, 2 strikes, and a raid, and sunsetting. That $20? No. Seasons nowadays at $12. Quote me on this, is one of the best deals in gaming.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, fair enough.
Because there are very few companies that put out the narrative content, the loot content, the pursuit content, the updates. There is so much that's packed in a season. A lot of game developers, EA, would probably sell a season as a game.
Yeah.
And all of that content within a game, they'd sell for $60.
That's very fair. Yeah. Okay.
And a lot of people on Twitter, I know some people who have posted a couple of weeks ago when the microtransaction was going mad in the community. People were saying, "Oh, Destiny costs $200 to get into." No, I mean, firstly,
to buy everything it does.
Well, not at the minute. It's $78.
But let's not factor in Steam. Let's not factor in Steam and PlayStation and Xbox sales right now. If we are not dealing with a sale, because I had to deal with this recently when I got back into PC when I went to PC gaming. I like if I wouldn't have found discounts, I would have had to pay like about 200 and some change for the Armory pack, which had Forsaken and whatchamacallit in it. Like the Legacy pack, which has Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen in it, and then if I wanted the annual pass and Lightfall again, another like $100. The whole thing would have cost me about $200 and some change. So flat out, and on top of that, if you walk into the Steam store right now, you have Legacy Collection, Armory Collection, Lightfall. Now they have Final Shape pre-order.
Yeah, it is Beyond Light, Shadowkeep, thing,
Witch Queen, 30th anniversary, Forsaken, all stacked up on top of each other. And on Steam, it says $418 USD, which, if you're a brand new player coming in, looks very sus. It looks very confusing. Like, what do we do? What do we buy? I have to go watch a YouTube video to figure it out because Bungie won't explain it. That's what the major argument was for a lot of people was, but Bungie doesn't make it very clear of what the heck we need to buy. Granted, when you load up the game, they give you 50 different freaking pop-ups, but they don't tell you what specifically is needed right this second. So I will give them the credit there. But but in terms of the grand scale with the seasons, I will agree with you that Bungie could be a lot worse, like EA or something.
They can be so much worse. And that's what people don't realize.
Yeah, like they just need a little bit of organizational skills. Like someone needs to come in and give Bungie a trapper keeper, is what I'm hearing. From a lot of people in the grand scheme of things.
And see, this is where I will say, Bungie, you need to go take a look at freaking Square Enix and Business Unit 3 and how they manage Final Fantasy XIV's content. Okay, especially as they get prepared for the next expansion. Okay, because all they do is they take their current expansion, slap it into the freaking the complete edition, and that's it. One bundle right there. You get freaking base game, all the content up until the new expansion. $60. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Honestly, that's what Bungie should be doing with the freaking Legacy Collection. Take a freaking Armory pack, shove it in there. Because let's be honest, I'm going to say this with my full-on chest. At this point in time, the Forsaken pack and the Armory pack is not worth the $25.
It's not.
Retail. Slap that into Legacy Collection at this point.
I will say the 30th anniversary on launch was about like $15-$20, but now it's like...
when it was the newest content, it was worth it. But now it's like... ask yourself, when was the last time you went into Days of Eternity and it wasn't for light level?
Just this past weekend, because I'm still grinding red borders.
Fair enough.
RNG kicks me in the nuts.
Fair enough.
And like,
I feel that pain.
If you new lights, you kind of have to go in there for that. So like, there's a couple random times where if you're helping new lights, you got to go deal with that kind of situation, which makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
I personally haven't touched that content, and a lot of people that I play with haven't touched that content in a while. But fair enough. I'll hold my hands up. Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. So like, but so Bungie definitely has some things to work on. But in terms of content, I think episodes are a great thing. Now, let us touch into the season of the witch.
Yeah.
Because man, oh man, oh man,
it's a good time to be a Destiny player. It's a very good time.
Okay, Season of the Witch, a.k.a. Season of the Balls, a.k.a. Season of Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, whatever freaking name you want to go for it. I mean, it's pretty much... Look, the memes aside, this is absolutely freaking fantastic for a season.
Right, this season is kicked off...
We've only had 1 week!
The only flaw with this season, in my opinion, is the loot's kind of lacking. Otherwise, great public, like great event, great great horde mode. This is I will say it. This is the best horde mode Bungie has ever rolled out.
It shits on Menagerie. Don't at me.
I agree.
It does.
It does. Because it gives you player choice. It lets you stay in there. It does. Like the only problem where the altars is a problem is when you're stuck in there with randoms. Otherwise, it's the greatest time you could possibly have. I guarantee it. Yeah, it lets you test builds. It lets you go ham. There's different tiers. And like it's the closest it's like blind well on crack, and I love it.
I've mainly sorry, Cajun, you go. I've talked over you too much. Okay. I've mainly done it with a 3-stack of people who are really good. And one of them has been maining Banner of War. It's been glorious.
We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Anytime that you get Banner of War plus the heavy ammo gen card, it is the easiest thing I've ever played, but I'll get on to that. So my experience has been mostly 3-stacking with doing the tier 3s. Fuck Shriekers. Fuck them to hell.
Oh my god!
The arc crystals has, I think I counted, if you kill them and let them respawn, there's 12 Shriekers in that entire fight. It is
pain. My rocket launcher behind cover, not giving a shit.
Oh, I've been using Graviton's good on the red bars, but there's another one that has Shriekers. I think it's the Void Crystals.
I think so, yeah.
That has orange bar Shriekers. Yeah, if you fuck regular Shriekers, orange bar Shriekers can get dug in a pit so far to hell, Elon Musk is praying to them in the morning. Oh, fuck orange bar Shriekers.
Okay, but you know, I think the altars is great.
Yeah.
I will say though, I think similar to Season of the Deep and Season of Defiance, I hate that I'm speaking this into fruition. The engram drop rate is kind of insanity, especially when like the loot is lacking. Because the past 2 seasons, the activities are great, but the loot is lacking. That's the biggest problem that Bungie has right now is that they're killing it with activities.
Yeah.
But the loot is lacking. Like, if you want my hot take when it comes to this season should have had like Season of the Haunted level reprisal of weapons kind of come in. Like, granted, we're getting new weapons in next week because of Crota, but in terms of the grand scheme, like that whole focusing page should have been like doubled or tripled with just like new concepts, new weapons, new things. Like, we just got a brand new hand cannon subfamily. Where's the Hive dual shot hand cannon? Like, there should have been so many different ideas in this thing, and it's like, where are the new ideas? Where are the cool things going on here?
The one thing I'll say to you on that loot point, Panda, is that when Bungie did with every drop just increase the floor for the quality of weapons and the quality of the perks, that ended up with us getting sunsetting. And Bungie know how much the community hate sunsetting. So they're very cautious about raising that bottom floor for weapon rolls and for
I
perks
definitely hear you about that, but my counter to that is I got 26 Witch Queen engrams in my cache right now. I'm just sitting on waiting for when the reset hits for the red border.
I feel you on that, and I can only go for chess pieces so many times without having the stats.
It's very much like I hear you about the loot floor, but like at the very least, if you're gonna give me like
there needs to be one chase weapon,
right? Like, and the thing is, like, other than the scout rifle, because like Cool Guy made a video on it, and I agree with him that the scout rifle's kind of goated for void shit because Doom and Chelchis is not everyone's cup of tea.
What's the scout? Because I don't watch a lot. Shock horror. I don't watch a lot of Destiny content creators. I think I've watched you guys more than I've watched anybody else the past couple of weeks.
Wow, I feel great.
What is on the scout rifle?
So the scout rifle can roll with like rapid hit and explosive payload, but it also can get destabilizing rounds, and like it's the same archetype as the Vogue scout rifle, but it hits like super great in terms of
so it's like a 140, I think it is in D2.
I believe so.
It's a void precision frame.
Yeah.
In the third column, it can roll with perpetual, shoot the loot, rapid hit, no distractions. In the fourth column, explosive load, adagio, golden tricorn, and destabilizing rounds. There's a couple more, some of the newer perks that came out this season.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Cajun, but you said explosive load, and I
can't breathe. Oh, wait.
Look, I'm gonna say explosive load is what I was using with what I was Apex Predator last night. Okay. By the way, freaking heads up, start running bipod. I had an absolute fucking blast with that last night in altar summoning.
And reconstruction bipod is sexy.
Four
rockets back to back
rockets.
So sexy.
Is the trade-off worth it now over
it's
over
25% versus 44%.
Envious Assassin though.
So the people that do the number crunching, God bless y'all for doing this. They've been doing the freaking Lord's work in the difference between bait and switch and freaking just on the rocket alone, just on the rocket launcher alone. Okay.
Right.
That's not taking in rotation and abilities and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Bait and switch versus bipod is very minimal. It's about 7K difference total damage.
Wow.
3K difference on the DPS. Yeah. So that's 7K in favor of bipod, 3K in favor of bait and switch. That's how much of a difference is. So
bipod is out damaging bait and switch.
Yes.
Right. But in DPS terms, it means what you can pump out in a specific amount of time. Bait and switch does do better. Now, that's not, like I said, that's not taking into account supers, abilities, as well as rotations that you would do under a normal bait and switch. So it's possible in the hands of a skilled player, bait and switch is still going to outperform and do better than someone using bipod. But for ease of use for new light players and
bipod
returning players,
down.
Yes.
Bipod's hands down. So there's options now for
Agreed.
players.
Yeah.
And Apex Predator right now is the king of freaking legendary rockets. At this point, Hothead is not as good as it used to be.
No,
But
it's
you better
not.
see me in a Cali farm tomorrow night. But I wanted to say real quick. So Numlocks over the Twitch chat. He said chase weapons should be in high level content, dungeons, raids, and trials. Look at the Witch Queen Forbearance was weapon. So here's the thing.
True.
I agree with that statement. But at the end of the day, if we're gonna get these really amazing horde modes with the seasonal content, which to be fair, my hot take is this horde mode should have like a standardized version where like it never leaves the game, whether it's hive themed or whatever themed it is. This horde mode, like I think it should be like here's my hot take: bring back Mercury, bring back the Infinite Forest, make it be altars permanently. Like that's all you need to do. Like literally just make Infinite Forest be the new altars after this season, after the new expansion, and just let this form of content stay in the game in the Infinite Forest. And it'd be fine. Like, and then on top of that, every season there's a chase weapon you will get from altars or vexing, whatever the hell you want to call it. And like that's the theme. Because because I've been saying this the longest, and the biggest problem with seasons is if you give us great content but lack of loot, there's no reason to go into the great content. If you give us great loot and shitty content, people are only gonna go into the shitty content for as long as they have to and never come back.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest trade-off. If you give us both, we will stay in the content, we will keep grinding the content, and you will see your player numbers go up.
Yeah.
That's what Bungie needs to figure out, is giving us good content and good loot, because it is a looter shooter. You need to give us not like busted loot, but loot worth chasing. Hell, I saw a freaking Frostbolt be like, "Oh my god, a strand hand cannon!" But if you look at that strand hand cannon's perk pool, it's garbage. Like if the strand hand cannon would have been packing some heat, not crazy heat, but some heat, it would have been worth the chase. So it's like, it very much is that kind of situation where you need some stuff to chase when it comes to the seasonal content, especially when they give us this top tier horde mode like altars, but there's 4 or 5 guns. Like, and on top of that, the perk pools are pretty non-existent. That's my biggest problem.
But here's the thing. How many times has Bungie either nerfed, changed, or reworked a perk that used to be in the freaking meta? And now we look back and we're like, oh shit, this is now freaking better than what we're freaking using, but we don't have access to it anymore. You know? And especially now with crafting, this is why it's one of those points where I would say, no matter even if you hear, you know, I'm going to say this Joe Blow content creator saying that these weapons aren't worth grinding for. To me, it's still worth grinding for because we don't know how the meta is going to change from now to season 23 to final shape, etc.
Right.
And then later on, we're finding out, oh, the meta shifted with freaking, you know, don't quote me, you know, final shape. Oh, it's machine gun meta. And we're sitting on a freaking machine gun right now. And all of a sudden, the perk pool is looking a little bit bigger, a little bit better. And it's like, shit, we missed out. This is where I would say, even if it doesn't look good, definitely grind the weapons, play the content, get the crafters done, at least get all your red borders. So that way, God forbid, if the meta changes, perks change, whatever, or Bungie decides, hey, we're going to go back to some of these old weapons and add in a couple extra perks. It might just make them.
I agree with you.
It might make it from old and busted to new hotness.
Okay, Men in Black 2. But like, I see what you're saying. But then my brain immediately goes back to, we just talked about the Beyond Light weapons. Beyond Light weapons are still sitting there. Because other than True Vanguard, no one's using high albedo. No one's using that solar auto rifle. And hell, up until Witch Queen weapons, well, not Witch Queen, last Witch weapons were craftable. Like I think it was Dado or someone who said recently, no one touched Apex Predator before the rework.
It was one of the worst weapons in Last Wish.
Everybody and their mama wants it, despite Last Wish being one of the longest raids in history. Like, everybody wants it now. And it's like, there was a point where Data was making videos cleaning out people's vaults, and they're like, why do you have an Apex Predator? Get rid of that. Like, there's certain, like, I will agree with crafted weapons. I was the biggest proponent when Lightfall was about to come out that, like, you need to get your crafted weapons done. You need to get these done now. You don't know when Bungie's going to give it back to you. Get these crafted weapons. Like, because that was the thing with last season. When everyone was like, oh my god, overload trace rifle. We don't have any legendary trace rifles. I was walking around with all 3 colors. Like I was Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. You couldn't touch me. I had all of them done. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was walking around with my freaking cannon brace build. I had Monte Carlo in one hand and the Seraph shield trace rifle in the other hand. You couldn't tell me nothing. Because I put the work in. Hell, you just saw me the past couple days off stream where the one weapon that I didn't grind for last season was the sword, but everyone's like, "Hey, the strand sword's really good with Banner of War," which we're gonna talk about in a second. But like, go get the strand sword. Cool. Finally got that. That was the one thing I didn't get the crafted done for, and I regretted it. So I had to go get it done when deep dives are hard as hell to grind now. So it was like one of those things I had to go do. So I will agree with you about crafted weapons. But there's certain situations where, like, because I've been saying for the longest time, I'm waiting like a mug for when Garden of Salvation becomes craftable. Because you ain't gonna see me for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna have my Prophet of Doom crafted. I'm gonna have my Akira Redemption crafted. I'm gonna have my auto rifle on 9s. You about to see me never taking Reckless Oracle off. Like that, I've been waiting for Reckless Oracle to be meta for a hot minute. So it's because I'm a Garden of Salvation like whore. I love my garden. Like I will take anybody through a div run. I already have 3 div runs planned for next week. Like when garden comes back, like I'm very much like I love me some garden. So like I'm waiting because I've been saying for the longest time that Prophet of Doom is one step from being more powerful than Matador 64. The only thing that Bungie needs to do is fix that 3rd column of perks, and we're flying to the moon. Because I've taken Prophet of Doom into PvP and use Slideways opening shot, and it's great. But I would prefer slide shot opening shot or like perpetual motion or threat detector. You reprise that shit. Whoa! Look at the sniper rifle. Everybody hates that sniper rifle, but what if Bungie rolled out and said, "Hey yo, this thing has more gas than the Last Wish sniper rifle," and everyone's like, "We gotta go fight Sanctified Mind. We need the sniper rifle." People would go ballistic.
I just hope when they do that, they fix that final boss, because that's some of the buggiest shit in the game right now.
You got wrong, homie. You got wrong. You take a sunspot near that motherfucker, it's all bad. Like
the amount of times that I'm a void lock main, as I've said. I have a build which I can solo. I can make so many motes on one side. The other person just needs to blink at one goblin, and they've got 10 when they go back. The amount of times that I have been accidentally pulled prematurely, or I've gotten someone else pulled prematurely for me saying pull me early is too damn high.
You're right.
Like they shoot my side and then they get pulled at the same. They're like, we didn't ask for a pull. We only got 7. Like, I'm sorry, I'm so quick.
Right, like just volatility alone. If you chuck, I remember I chucked a freaking frisbee and a couple of the goblins did the Sanctified Mind one time, and just the volatility alone triggered his kneecap, and I was like, "Oh, all right, that doesn't make any sense." But all right,
hi, Solar Hunter here, freaking throwing out my damn knives and scorching the freaking boss.
Ooh.
I can't tell you how many times I got freaking yelled at. And it's like, hey, I can't help it that my freaking knife decided to go freaking 6 ways to Sunday. Up the freaking, boss's crotch. It's like, what the hell?
Oh, all the 3.0 stuff, like procs the Sanctified Mind.
Damn.
Like, if you throw a stasis turret out near that motherfucker, stasis turret will just shoot at him the whole time, and it will open the portals.
See, the thing is, I'm a slut for Last Wish. I love Riven, and I will take anyone who asks me. I've never done Riven. I will take you through legit, and I will teach you that entire raid, and I will make
Riven,
you love
gross. Legit Riven. Can't do it.
I'm sorry. I'm leaving this podcast. Goodbye. No,
like I will do the rest of the raid legit. I will do the rest of the raid legit. But man, I ain't got
the
time.
Panda. I have got to take you through a legit Riven because I love it. It is my favorite fight.
You think you're a slut for Last Wish? You should come meet my friend Ninja. She will show you the truth and the way, because she likes to trio Last Wish. That's how much she loves that raid.
I couldn't do Lomance. Anyway, I am a slut for Last Wish. I have and when I go through, I tell the people, okay, no Volatile on Riven's Eyes, no Strand on Riven's Eyes, no Threadlings. I have the list memorized in my head of the things that can proc Riven's Eyes.
But what about my
now.
new Fire Tornado on Riven? Because my new Fire Tornado goes hard on Riven. We found that out this last week.
I need to take it's nearly 3 a.m. and I need to take a cold shower after this. I feel dirty.
Okay,
no.
So but no, we definitely agree about that though, because I want to get to the aspects and the new exotics real quick before we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bungie, y'all thought y'all were real slick making it helmet day, or like it was helmet day on the release of 3 new ARM exotics. No, sir. Your boy had every Titan exotic unlocked. I walked on the Neomuna and saw me a Vex incursion and said, "Hey, yo, let's go." My new pirate. And so I was gonna make I was gonna make a TikTok about this and I didn't. So if you listen to an old TikTok I made like earlier in the year, someone had made a prompt of, if you could make a new solar super for Titan, what would you do? I had the greatest idea. Just make one fire tornado that gives Titans a new burst DPS super beside Thunder Crash, and you just take the animation from the planet's boss, from Rooted Nightmares, and you make it be the Burning Maul super. And what does Bungie do? They go, "Hey, yo, big man, we can't make it a new super, but we'll give it to you in an exotic." And I'm like,
I've not played.
I can compromise with that.
I just got the gauntlets half hour before we went live. There was a Vex Strike Force, and I got them. I haven't used them yet. I've seen the video of someone taking the first. Granted, it's Grasp of Avarice. The bosses have less health than a fly. The video of someone dropping that first boss's health to half with one hammer, and I'm like, what the fuck?
So sexy.
The thing does 3 times damage than a Curus.
Three of those Titans. Actually, no, it was 4. It was 4 of those Titans baked Riven with that tornado, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, I've been asking for this for so long. And granted, people have been doing some different techs, like adding Synthoceps and different things like to make it more busted. But it's like, you shouldn't need that. It should just be busted on its own. But I'm so thankful that finally there's a reason to run Solar Titan and high-end PvE content, because, man, I was getting really annoyed. I was making video after video going like, I need this. I need some more gas in my Solar Titan. I'm tired of not having a good DPS super. We need this. And Bungie, I want my check. I want it right the motherfucker now. I had thought of this months ago. I want my check. I need it. But solar Titans are rejoicing. Warlocks have too many void souls, and we have a problem. There is a shortage. There is an excess.
I'm not a Warlock main, but holy crap, no. We do not have enough void boys freaking running with us to freaking destroy the freaking world. Okay,
you have too many void boys.
I've been having an absolute blast with Briar Binds. Okay, I was doing that on stream earlier today in freaking Lightblade Nightfall, and yes, I enjoy it. I love it. And don't even get me started on freaking Pyrogale. Okay, I took that in freaking Altar Summoning. That's an absolute freaking blast as well.
Right.
I have not gotten a chance to freaking tweak and mess around with the freaking the Hunter exotic yet.
That was what I was going to say. So I played around with it for a little bit, and the Hunters are going to have some fun, I think. I think it's really cool that Hunters can just be like, "Hey, yo, here's a moth, and have fun with it." And the way you can literally just heal your teammates or get revenge on people is so much fun. I love it.
But it also interacts with the new exotic that we got. I was going to say,
doesn't it have a unique thing with Exterius?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So you can get double the freaking moths, and I'm like, yes,
moths for days.
I love exotics that interact with weapons in unique ways like that. I think that it's such a nice thing, and we need more of them. I'm sorry. It's
Oh,
such,
they're fine. I agree with you.
it's
So
so
then,
nice.
so then let's move on to the Strand crisis of 2023 for us for
Oh
a second.
God.
Mother.
So Hunter's got Beyblades, and Hunter's got some like their Beyblades are fun. That's fine. Like Hunters were kind of cooking last season with the Shadow Clone Jutsu, so Hunters didn't need that much gas, which is fine. Warlocks, y'all already been turned off.
Warlocks are fucking raid bosses.
But
It's
like literally,
stupid.
y'all were rolling into trials in seven winning like 5-0 nonstop. Like literally, you were taking 90%. Like nothing could kill you. Like it was insanity. And Tower Mom's crying in chat, but it's like, hey, I understand that Bungie's like, hey, yo, this is a problem.
The only way to stop them was either stasis or to hit them back with Strand. That was it.
Hell, there was a build that Astrocross tried on stream where someone said, "Hey yo, use no time to explain and make a time warp, buddy, and then do it." And Dog was walking around with a freaking turret, just walking around killing people. And
you don't even need to fucking play Crucible anymore. You just have the game play it for you.
Exactly, like just fully automated. And like I understand, like I get where Bungie's head's at. Make cool stuff. But then it's like, maybe we made it a little too much fun.
Yeah.
Like, you freaking broke it.
It broke the game.
I'll admit, I haven't had chance to play with Weave Walk yet because the fucking loadouts are down and I can't remember my strand build. Love nor money.
Hey,
but the minute that
minute
that they're turned on, you best fucking know that because at the minute I've got some kind of half cross between Threadling and Suspend build, which is doing okay.
Right.
But I want to fuck with Weave Walk. I want to play with the Hot Nurse.
Damn.
I
won't lie. That whole loadout situation has reminded me that have a backup to everything. And FYI, I started rebuilding all my stuff on Dim just so that when we do get the loadouts back in game, I can sit there and say, hey, make this an in-game loadout.
Right.
That's cool.
And here's my hot take with that real quick though. For anybody, I saw a lot of new lights the past like week or so complaining about loadouts being down. And here's my thing. Y'all are sounding like a child who just had their iPad taken away.
Y'all don't know how good you have it.
Like y'all don't know how good you used to have it. I said on stream the other night. Do y'all remember when we couldn't even open our maps in the tower in D1? Do you remember where you had to wait for loading times from out of hell? Do you remember when Dim wasn't even a thing? Like
I remember, I've been taking friends again through D1 recently, and the amount of things I've had to tell them is like, okay, where are you on the map? There's no map. There's no map. There's no map. Like
you know how slow Sparrows used to be before freaking everyone had always on time? Like we used to have it so bad, and people were like I remember when the API went down last season, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, the API's down!" Like just go to the tower, dog. Go grab your shit.
It's that meme with the people on the hangman just like first time.
Right, like first time, like we've been here, we've done that. Like it's no big deal. Yeah. It's like everyone's freaking out. It was just like blew my mind, and like for me, I just went to orbit. Put my dim on, went back in, no problem. Right now, like the only build that I need to remake at this point is my freaking Thunder Crash build. That's like 5 seconds of work. Like I ain't worried about that. Yeah. I'll pop in a D2 armor picker, put it back together, and be done with it. So it's I'm very much at this point where it's like y'all don't know how good y'all have it. Y'all need to get like I sound like an old person, but it's like I've been here for the past 10 years. I know the hustle, I know the grind. It ain't that big of a deal. I think if they can't figure out loadouts before the day one raid, some people are gonna be a little bit salty. But other than that, we've done the hustle before. We didn't have loadouts back a few seasons ago. Who cares? We've been here. We've struggled before. I used to have every exotic on all my site ready to go for any emergency because I didn't know what was up. There was a point where I had one standardized armor set, and then I would sub in a before the 3.0. I had a standardized armor set that was damn near triple 100s on everything. That I would summon an exotic, roll with it, roll tide. That's all you had to do. So I think people are a little bit entitled and need to give Bungie time to cook. Let them cook. Let them figure their shit out, and we'll be back soon. Have a great day. That's how I feel about that.
Go on, Cajun.
And speaking about letting Bungie cook, hey Bungie, okay, I love you. I talk a lot of good about you, but give me my fucking aspects already. Okay, I've been bugged since freaking the season launch. Okay, seriously, and that was BS. That was BS.
Because there was a glitch that happened where me and Cajun and a clanmate went into the mission, and he pressed the thing, and his quest didn't progress, so he can't access any of the aspects. And man's been salty about it. So
I've been so freaking ripped because I'm hearing everybody talking about the freaking aspects, and I'm like, I can't even freaking touch it, and I'm a content creator.
Like Warlocks think you got it bad. Cajun can't even play with y'all. Like Cajun can't. Like Cajun's the real one who's like first time because
I've
he's
not
fully
even
turned
heard
on.
of that glitch before. That's awful, dude.
Excuse me. That's down.
And now Bungie has acknowledged the issue on the forums, and that there is a small percentage of the community that this is affecting. And while they haven't come out and said it, a lot of people are suspecting that next week, when we get the next audio, we should be able to roll in. But it's like at this point, God effing help me. If I don't have it before day one raid, I'm gonna be pissed.
Right. Now, Titans, it's time to rejoice.
All right, I'm putting my flag down here.
I'll let you cook. I'll let you cook in a second. Especially because Quad King just rolled into the TikTok chat. But Titans, it's time to rejoice because finally we get to raise our banners high. For the banner of war is here. We finally get to rejoice.
A huge issue with Banner of War. I have one huge issue with Banner of War.
What's your issue?
I'm taking y'all. Again, shout out to Rune, who is my heel lock. I'm throwing y'all back to 12 months ago.
Okay.
Solar 2.0. Solar Warlock was the best healing build in the game. It was glorious. Pair Lumina with it. You were the best buff and debuff in the game. Solar 3.0, they didn't just kick Warlocks in the dick. They pulled off our testicles and wore them as earrings. Now what are they doing? They're taking those testicles and using them as pool balls, giving Titans the best healing build in the game. Where is my respect for Solar Warlocks? Where is my respect? I can only do so much with healing nades, Bungie. You gave Titans Brigitte's ultimate from Overwatch. I'm fucking losing my mind here. I can only do so much with fucking Boots of the Assembler and healing nades. Please, Bungie.
Oh my land! So, hey yo, DanJon, you're officially part of the podcast now because this is great. I need this.
Yeah, thank you very much. Checks in the mail.
But like, no, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, hey, we're all on a team here. Like, some people are Lucios, some people are like, some people are the new chick, some people are fucking Mercies, but some people are Brigittas.
I'm a Brig main as well. This hurts me so much. I'm a Brig main. I hate this.
So let's explain real quick, especially because my sister just rolled into chat and she has no idea what's going on. So, but for those who don't know, the new Titan Strand aspect, Banner of War, I'm gonna read it real quick because I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make sure I quote this right. Because man, oh man, it is beautiful and I love it so much. And I know DanJon is salty.
No, it's fun as hell. Don't get me wrong, but
defeat a target with a melee attack, finisher, or sword to raise a banner of war that pulses with energy, periodically healing nearby allies and increasing melee and sword damage. Targets defeated by you or nearby allies charges your banner, increasing the speed of the pulses up to ×4. And a tattered banner has a little lore thing. So here's what it doesn't tell you. It affects your healing as well. It doesn't say that, but it does. It heals you. It heals your teammates. It heals your mama. It heals everybody. and like you're sitting there.
This shit's so good. It healed my emotional trauma. What the fuck, Bungie?
I remember I went into a deep dive the other night, and I because I was trying to farm the sword, and I went into a deep dive. and I had I took two or newer players with me, and I'm like, hey, yo, just roll with me. We got this. And like they had so much healing. I'm just running through, having a great time, and I'm just like, hey, this is a great ability. This has a lot of potential. But I understand people's concerns that it's a little bit overpowered. I think where the nerf's gonna happen, they're gonna take it down.
Riven. That's all I'm gonna say.
So what happened was a group of 3 different Titans used Banner of War and rolled up in 3-man Riven with it. And it's like, that's a concern. So I understand the concern a little bit. I think if anything, they're going to have to drop it similar to what they did with Star Eater scales, where instead of like ×8, it's ×4 now. I can see them going from ×4 to ×2 and just try to level it out a little bit, because I understand the concerns. I think it's like this is sort of a similar situation as the Warlock aspect, where Bungie has some great ideas, but man is a little bit busted. But at the same time, I don't want them to go too hard in the paint with it. I don't want them to go, hey, let's go to the other extreme and nerf it into the ground. Because look what happened with Suspend. They went too over the curve. That everyone's like, hey, we're going to go play with Banner of War now, like we're freaking Andy in Toy Story, and not have to worry about this because Suspend got nerfed. So now it's like, hey, don't nerf it too much, because now we're going to be Andy with a new toy. Like, let us, like, normalize, reach a neutral ground where this can thrive in the endgame meta and relax and not have to be too overpowered. Because right now, I'm, like, praying to God. Like, let me get to day one. Let me get to day one. Let me roll through lanterns with a giant green banner and have fun.
If you're expecting Banner of War to be active for day one, that is some mad fucking copium, dude.
I have faith.
I think that shit is getting turned off.
I have subscribed to the Church of the Banner of War, and I have faith that we will reach day one raid.
So the Thread Walker, whatever the freaking aspect for Warlock, I could see that absolutely the reason why they disabled that, and they're gonna fix it. Hopefully, they're gonna deliver it back before day one.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, as far as Banner, I'm expecting them to do an adjustment on Tuesday, and I would not be surprised.
I don't see it Tuesday. I feel like it'll be a couple weeks. I feel like it'll be a couple, like hell, even Blackburn kind of baited Paul Tassi with it on Twitter. He's like, I'm waiting for you to make an article about this. I feel like Blackburn knows is a little turned up.
No.
I feel like Blackburn knows.
Blackburn is starting to keep a pulse on the freaking community.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm pretty sure that when they started coming out with the freaking videos and stuff, Blackburn went to his team and said, hey, we might need to get this adjusted. And I mean, that's why we saw the Warlock aspect get freaking disabled. I want to say fairly quickly, especially considering trials.
Right. Because right when it happened, a couple people did go flawless with it. Like, it did happen. So I understand the concern with that.
So, like I said, I either Tuesday or Thursday, I'm expecting a freaking adjustment.
Just let me get to day one. Just let me get to day one.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, if we get to day one, Crota Raid, with that aspect untouched, guarantee you swords are going to be the meta to go roll through that son of a bitch. And at that point, have at it. Freaking laments all day.
I guarantee if Bungie does not touch Banner of War, you will see Saltagrepo and his whole squad on Banner of War. I don't give a
I'm surprised. I don't follow certain people who are damage resist elitists in this community. Have they tweeted anything about Banner of War yet?
So one thing that I did see is Saltagrepo did speak on a little bit. He said, I don't think the perk is busted. I think the problem still is freaking Woven Mail, because they did nerf Woven Mail a little bit, where it went from it was like 65 to 50, or like 60 something to 55 damage resistance, and he still said that's too high.
No,
because here's the thing. I think the problem and premise with Banner of War is that you can couple it with Woven Mail. If they came out and said, hey, you can't couple these two things together, or if they said, hey, you have less Woven Mail if you have Banner of War, that would be the compromise. Or if they just lowered Woven Mail more than 55 damage resist, similar to what they did with Resilience, where it's less than that, that would sort of like could like fix the problem a little bit, which I kind of agree with because like it does seem kind of busted because Dado made a whole video where he's even said the opening where it's like, I don't know how to die anymore. And that's a valid like statement because I remember when Laura Lee was super busted for a while when it first came out. There was a point where we were doing Kingsfall and Sherpa and Kingsfall. I had to take the helmet off to die.
Yeah,
like what? Like I survived a white mechanic one time because of Laura Lee when it first came out. Like
what?
Like when Oryx does the giant explosion, I survived it, and I was like. What?
Fucking hell.
So like so that's what I'm saying. Like I can see Bungie going, hey, we're gonna crank back Woven Mail, but let Banner of War thrive. I can see that.
So I think Banner of War it's the thing with Strand is it had no way to keep yourself alive.
Agreed.
And I don't mean no way to take less damage. Woven Mail out the ass. What I mean is like Void, you have Devour. With Solar, you've got Restoration and Cure, etc. They have their kit is baked into self-survivability and self-replenishment.
Mm-hmm.
That's not in Arc, that's not in Stasis, that's not in Strand. Arc and Stasis, I could be shown wrong. I don't play them as much.
Right.
But with Strand, that was the major weakness of Strand, was there was no way to really just self-heal yourself apart from Rift on Warlock.
Right.
And it's adding that to Strand Titan, which is giving them a huge niche in the endgame space by being this mobile healer. And I think it's an important niche to fill. It was the major setback of using Strand, and now that hole has been filled. I'm glad it exists as much as my rant earlier. Yeah, it needs tuning back. Like you said, either reduce it from ×4 to ×3, maybe make it so like, I don't know, with this, like, make it so like they say with this aspect equipped, you can own you and others affected by Woven Mail only have it for 5 seconds,
right,
or something like that.
I think 5 would be a little too much because it's at 30 right now, and you can replenish it. I think like 20 or 15.
No, I mean Woven Mail now down to 5 seconds.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
It's time and a half.
And like I think because I definitely agree with you because one thing that I had said for a long time that the tank class of Destiny was missing, because that's what Titans are, that the tank class of Destiny.
Yeah.
But one thing that we were missing was a Reinhardt shield level type thing where we could mobile carry people to victory.
Yeah.
And like because I said for a long time, hey yo, fuck Ursa Furiosa, let me carry my bubble around. Like let me be a mobile bubble for a hot minute as like an alternate super. And then they go, here's Banner of War. And I'm like, I'll take it. Like instead of Reinhardt Brigitte, fine, we'll make it work. Like I enjoyed the concept. I think it's a great way to play into that fantasy. And but I like, and the thing is, I'm over here hyped. I'm over here like I'm part of the shop. I'm in the church, but like I'm willing to admit we can turn down a little bit, but I don't want there to be a Laura Lee situation where we have to nerf the entire subclass just because we had a cool idea. Where we said, hey guys, we're gonna get rid of Sun Warrior. What? Y'all didn't give 2 shits about Sun Warrior before Laura Lee came out. Why are we getting rid of Sun Warrior, Bungie? Now Solar Titans, all we do is heal. We can't do anything else anymore, Bungie. You took away Tempered Metal and Sun Warrior, Bungie. What's going on, Bungie? I don't want to be a heal bot anymore on Solar. Like, because on Strand, it makes sense. We're a mobile unit. We're constantly slashing and doing this cool thing. So us carrying our team to victory makes sense. But with Solar, we're supposed to be destruction. We're supposed to be burning things, throwing our hammer, being the Sunbreaker. I remember when Taken King came out, and the Sunbreaker like is giving you that speech. I'm like, I'm burning. I'm ready to fight. So when they got rid of Sun Warrior, my heart was like, man, I ain't burning like I used to. And it doesn't feel like now with these new gauntlets, I'm burning. But like other than that, it doesn't feel like with Solar anymore that we're cooking. Hell, they even buffed, I should say. Hallowfire Heart this past season. My pitch for Hallowfire Heart a couple of episodes ago was just give it Sun Warrior. Like, because the whole argument against Sun Warrior before was Laura Lee could activate Sun Warrior on demand. So okay, cool. Give it to Hallowfire Heart. Hollow Fireheart makes you have to work for the Sunspot because you can't just activate it off of Lauralee. Perfect compromise. It makes Hollow Fireheart meta. It makes it not be a bad clone of Heart of Inmost Light. And it lets it thrive. Make it be the Sun Warrior chess piece. And it would make it niche, and make it fun, have a great time. But they didn't do that. They gave it half of Sun Warrior, where they said, hey, if you shoot somebody in a sunspot, you make another sunspot. And it's like, you couldn't include the damage buff too, Bungie? Like, really? You couldn't do that for me? Whatever. So that's my whole rant about that. I think there's a lot of potential here, but I'm worried Bungie might overextend the way they've done previously, where they nerf it too hard. That's my one concern with this, is they might overdo it too much. So just crank the knob a little bit back, Bungie. Don't do it too much. You have a really good thing here. Like I hate to say this, but listen to Blizzard for once. Don't nerf Brigitte too much. Let Brigitte thrive in the meta for a little bit before you turn it down. Like, let it ride, but don't let it ride for too long, is what I'm saying.
So I will say this on Bungie's behalf. If you look at their track record recently, not overall, but recently, Bungie's been doing a damn good job as far as making slight adjustments. They've been refraining from the overreaction. They disable when necessary, and that I'm 1% behind. Disable it, take it out if it's freaking so OP that it causes problems. And then make the adjustments. Hopefully you don't nerf it to the damn ground. And I will be honest, the Bungie I've been seeing since I returned has been really receptive and really understanding of not nerfing stuff to the ground. So if they can keep that up, I got faith in it. But if they nerf they nerf Banner to the ground, then at that point it's like, well, shit.
Like, you have a cool and like Numlock does in the chat, all the aspects are really strong. I disagree, because look at Fletcher Storm. Fletcher Storm ain't that hot. Like, you can dick around with it in a striker. You can dick around with it in strikes and gambit. You take Fletcher Storm into a GM, it ain't doing too much. Like, I'll be the first one to say.
All right.
Even with the Sever buff, I don't think it's going to be that hot of a thing.
Okay.
Because look what happened. No one said anything about Fletcher Storm last season, but everyone's talking about Banner of War. Like,
okay. Banner of War with Fletchet Storm and Syntheseps.
Oh, okay.
That has been a freaking nuts combination I've seen a couple people touched on.
I thought of that.
Okay. I would have ended the frame more, so I gotta understand.
That one was like, I was like, wait, how the hell does that work? And then, like I said, the gears start turning. I was like, oh. Like I said, Fletchet was not as good as it could have been last season, but now with Banner of War and the right setup, absolutely freaking god tier.
I might have to play with it. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I think we've definitely like touched on a lot of great things about like all everything that's going on. Just so everybody knows, we will not have a new episode next week. Obviously, we moved the schedule of the podcast to today because I had some family issues going on. But next week is the day one raid. Me, Cajun, and some of our clanmates will be doing the day one raid. We won't be doing the race. We're just going for the emblem. We will be streaming that here, live here on Twitch and on TikTok, so you'll be able to see that. But in terms of like a podcast, we won't have. We will be back the following week, where we will be having Dirty Terminator on for that episode. She will be coming by, hanging out with us. So definitely get ready for that. So obviously, DanJon, you see how the show ends every week. What is your closing statement for this episode, since you are our guest?
I think it's just trust Bungie. A lot of the discourse over the last few months has been people saying they don't trust Bungie or they don't have faith in this game. And every year, Bungie pulls it out around this time of year and shows us why we should trust them. And I see no reason to not trust them. We played this game for 9 years. We keep coming back. We're talking on a fucking podcast about it. We obviously love this game. We trust Bungie. I think if anything this week, more people should trust Bungie. In the dark times, Bungie will always pull it out.
That's fair. Okay. Alchemy, you've been very quiet this episode. What is your closing statement for this episode?
That next week is probably going to be one of the most reviving parts of the season, since it is grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cajun, Cajun, Mr. Wise Man, how are you feeling there? What is your closing statement?
After the showcase, it definitely reminded me of all of the good times that I've had with the Destiny franchise as a whole, and seeing the things that they're bringing to the table next expansion, and what they're putting in place in the next this season as well as next. It gives me a bit more faith with Bungie. Like I said, it's enough to where it's like, hey, you got me for another year.
Right.
How Bungie moves on from here, what their plans as far as content and continuing to involve Destiny 2. Because if you missed it in the showcase, they said they're planning to continue Destiny 2 for years.
Right.
Okay. That's alongside all their other games that they're working on and building. So my faith is right now still with Bungie. Am I going to be critical about them and some of their decisions, but at the same time critical of the community about how they push some of their arguments concerning Bungie and Destiny 2? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like, look, if you want to be critical of them, be critical of them about what you're upset a bit. You're upset about PvP. Okay, let them know. I'm not happy about this. If you're attacking them with some BS argument that you got from your daddy's Facebook from freaking your uncle twice removed or some other crap, it's like, no. Present factual evidence, present actual freaking research before you go attacking them. It's one thing to say, hey, I'm not happy with how the state of PvP or Gambit or whatever is, and leave it at that. State your opinion. But if you can't back it up with, if you're going to attack them through some other means that's basically misinformation or lies,
right,
dude, you're destroying your feedback.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But absolutely, what I will say, Bungie does need to do better about the Gambit situation. The PvP community has its eyeballs locked on you, Bungie, as far as, the state of PvP, especially in the next couple of seasons and into final shape.
Right.
And then how you react with producing better, more consistent content and how you communicate with the community. Definitely, we're going to be holding you to that letter because we want the communication, but at the same time, community, turn down the knob.
Exactly.
Turn down the salt.
Right.
Okay. Give Bungie a chance. And if you don't want to give them a chance, bye.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for mine, for my closing statement, I definitely want to echo what Cajun is saying, because if you look at the two best interactions I've seen have a dev with a member of the community happen this past 2 weeks, where you saw Grenadier Jake from the PvP community holler at Joe Blackbird, and Joe Blackburn have a nice civil conversation. Granted, it came off tone deaf to some people, but at the same time, it was still a conversation that was greatly had and was appreciated by the community, that he spoke to us. It was healthy. It was respectful. Yep. They did it right. Then you have Evan F. Evan F went up and was like, hey, are we going to see the continuation of reprised stuff come back, especially with Final Shape coming out? Will we still see more reprised content come back to the game? And Joe Blackburn gave sort of like a very wordy explanation, but it was still respectful and greatly well done. We will see Bungie do great things. We will see Bungie respond in a healthy way, but we have to give them a chance. We have to actually meet them at the halfway point and be like, hey, we're not happy, but at the same time, we understand the frustration. So that's sort of what we need to do, is start coming at it in the best way possible. And I think those two examples are a great way of showing, hey, there is potential here. Let's build to something. So just give them some time. Let them cook a little bit, but also, Bungie, while you're cooking, still pay attention. That's the biggest thing. Still pay attention while you're cooking. Don't let your stuff burn. Let people know that you hear them, because otherwise it's going to be a bad vibe for everybody. And that's where I want to leave that. So we will be back in 2 weeks. We will have a brand new episode for you folks. However, one more thing. On Friday, the day of the raid, right as we are going live, we will be dropping our brand new merch drop, because one thing we want to do whenever there's a new raid or a reprise raid or a big event coming up, we want to make sure that we have brand new merch to signify that. We just want to miss Solstice because we were busy, we didn't have time, but we want to make sure that we continue that tradition of having a brand new design for that content coming up. We're working with a brand new artist, we're having some great things come out, and we will have a Craig the Drag Crota merch drop. So make sure that you get ready for it. I already saw the sketches, it looks great, I'm hyped. So make sure you have shop.cosmodromeradio.com pulled up for when the raid goes live, because we will premiere that there and it will be amazing. So get ready for that, folks. We appreciate you being here. We will be back brand new next week. The recorded version of the podcast will be available tomorrow, so make sure that you tune in for that. If you couldn't stay for everything, the recorded version will be available elsewhere, and we will catch you next time and catch you Starside. Peace out.
Eddie, y'all.
Bye.